girlies, welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Alicia Gogan if you are new here, and if you are new, don't forget to subscribe because it's a good time over here. And don't forget to like this video as well, because not only will that help me let me know like what you like, but also it will show the algorithm that you're interested in these types of videos, and it will push more content like this out to you, even from other creators. So I always like to do that with myself when I'm on YouTube and watching YouTube videos, because I want to see more content creators like me. Alright girlies, so we need to have a chat and we need to talk about why you seek male validation. Is it bad? Is it wrong? Should you stop doing it? What's going on here? What to do about it? We're gonna talk about everything in this video. First, I'm going to give you my own personal story, because like I always say, I speak just from experience here. I'm trying to help you girls out and talk about what has worked and what maybe has not worked for me. So I am 26 years old. So in my early 20s, I would actually say when I got out of high school, I started working on my body and I started caring about my looks, and I started to get attention from guys that I was not getting attention from in high school, in the early years of high school, and of course even elementary school. I wouldn't say that I was like the ugliest kid when I was younger, but I definitely didn't get a lot of attention. I also lived in a predominantly white community, like society in a whole, so I also felt like I just didn't really get much attention from white boys, because white boys didn't like a light-skinned girl, okay? And you know what, to each their own. But as I grew up, I started to really care about my appearance and all of that, and I got a lot of male attention. And it was fun for a bit, of course. And as that was happening, I was also simultaneously working on myself, like self-improving. I've been through a lot in my life. I had a mother who was struggling with addictions. I lost my father when I was around 16 years old. And I had to learn a lot. I had to grow up very fast. I had to do a lot of things. So it was just my life story that I had to start self-improving and teaching myself how to live life like an adult very quickly, all of the things. And when I did that, I started to realize that the type of attention that I was getting from men didn't really sit well with me. It wasn't good. I'm quite smart, and even back then I started to realize very quickly the type of male attention that I was getting was not long lasting, as I would like to say. And so I started to tone back on the type of photos that I was posting of my body or my fit, just like myself in general on Instagram. And of course, when I did that, I wasn't getting so much male validation and attention, things like that, which I kind of figured that that's what was going to happen. But as I was transitioning out of realizing like, okay, putting myself on this Instagram of being this IG girl, just showing everything that I wanted to show, which by the way, I wasn't like an IG baddie or anything, like I'm showing photos so you're gonna see, but I started to realize it wasn't really helpful. And then I started to still realize though that my friends were still posting those types of photos, and I got resentful. I started in my head almost kind of like hating on some, not really hating, but looking at my friends or the people around me or the girls that I was following like she's doing it for attention and or she's a pick me type of vibe, right? I was very much so jealous, envious, whatever you really want to call it. The reason why I'm saying that is because usually when you realize that something's not working in your life and you want to do the opposite, sometimes what happens is you do the opposite. So for me, like I toned it down. I realized like this is not the attention that I'm trying to get from guys, but then it almost as if this part of me that was free, that didn't care what people thought and just like posted to get male validation or just to post because I looked good, that part of me, I moved it into my shadow. And when you move things into your shadow, and you can tell when something is in your shadow because you're seeing other people do the thing that you used to do and you're judging them instead of being like giving them compassion and being like, oh, okay, I see where she's at. Like she's at a point where she's probably wanting male attention or validation, or maybe she's just so free, she doesn't care. She just loves her body and she is standing in her power and she wants to show it off, whatever the case is. But if you are not sending that person love and compassion and instead you're just judging them, most likely that part of them is just a shadow within you. And so I was like that for a few years, and then I came to a full circle and realized, okay, listen, I don't need to judge other people just because they're not on the same journey as me. women might be operating out of many different reasons as to why they're showing their bodies on Instagram. Majority of the time it is because they want love and attention and validation, but I cannot put them down because I understand the process, because I've been through it myself. So I just want to preface this by saying that I am not here to put anyone down for trying to get male validation in whatever form that is, whether that's you going on Instagram and showing your body a little bit too promiscuous, let's say, or you like to talk to a lot of guys, whatever the case is. We're just gonna have an open and honest conversation here on my channel about this and what might be going on. And so, of course, the first thing that I really came to realize was I was seeking male validation out of a place of just wanting love and attention and affection. That is literally what it comes down to. So when you see women out there putting themselves, as some of us would say, like on blast, showing a little bit too much, whatever, I just think at the end, the deepest core, and it might be hard for you to get there and believe that, at the deepest level, it's that want for love and attention and validation, which they most likely did not get that from people that were closest around them. So this can be in the form of different childhood relational traumas, daddy issues, maybe the father wasn't giving them attention, or maybe just you grew up in a school where you just weren't getting a lot of attention and now you really wanted to prove like, hey, I'm worthy of something. All of this really comes down to is like low self-esteem, right? There was people around you in your childhood or as you were growing up that did not reinforce this high self-worth within you, because we do get that from outside, okay? We can't just completely validate ourselves 100%. If that was the case, then we would all be Gucci, and that's not the case. And so usually that comes from your childhood or the people that were around you. So I really understand that. That was my own experience. It usually is other people's experiences when you see them acting in this way. I also think being on social media doesn't really help as well, because a lot of us women, we get influenced by other women. So this was also my case. A part of it was I really wanted that attention and validation and things like that, but then I also would go, the route that I took was posting on social media just how beautiful my body is and how fit I am and how beautiful I look. And that was like, I was getting influenced by other women that were doing the same thing, that were most likely operating out of that low self-worth place as well. So it's like, you really have to understand that we're operating from a lot of different places, some from childhood traumas, relational traumas, some from just poor influences in your life, or even from men, toxic masculinity, you know, those men on social media that say like, the only thing that matters about women is their looks. And of course, it's a part of attracting a man. It is, okay, I'm gonna link a video up here about that, but at the end of the day, we need to focus on our self-worth, and we need to understand what's really going on if we find that we are somebody who is constantly seeking male validation and attention. And so in this process of really understanding like what was really going on with me and what I see all of the time with younger girls around me at work or friends, family, whatever, everything that I've been seeing, I really think it's important that you get to a point where you realize the type of attention that you are attracting when you are putting yourself out there, and also how this attention is making you feel, because this was the turning point for me as to why I stopped posting on social media the way that I was, out of a place of just wanting like that male validation and attention, because I started to realize the attention that I was getting didn't last. These guys only cared about my looks, they only wanted to sleep with me, and that was literally it. And I was starting to realize like I was not getting fulfilled. Like I want, now being 26, I know damn well what I want. And I want something that is so much deeper than what my looks will attract. I want something so much more meaningful in a relationship, from men specifically, because we're talking about men in this video. So I think that the turning point is to start to realize like, what is this attention making you feel in the long term? Because when you post a fire selfie, you're gonna feel amazing. You're gonna get all the likes, you're gonna get all the attention, you're gonna get all the DMs, the replies from all the guys you're talking to. But then when that wears off, how do you feel about yourself? Do you feel like the only way for me to recreate this feeling is posting another photo? Or are you good with posting a photo, beautiful, everyone's praising you, but you're good to not post another photo because you don't need it? Like, it doesn't really matter if you get the attention or not. Or if you're gonna be able to post a photo and maybe it doesn't get a lot of likes, are you still gonna be okay with that? Like, this is where it's important for you to tap into your feelings, tap into your actions. Are your actions making you feel better about yourself or worse about yourself? And if it's making you feel worse in the long term, then it's time for you to potentially change the way that you're doing things. Another thing that I had to come to a realization with and to just get real with myself about was, what is it that I'm truly looking for? I've said this in this video already. Usually it's love and attention and validation. We need it from other people. Don't get mad at yourself because you want it from other people, especially from men, especially from the opposite sex of you. That's totally normal. But it's to realize, like, what is it that you truly want and need in your life to feel satisfied? And for me personally, what's gonna make me feel satisfied, of course, is the things that I'm gonna give to myself, but also is to have a partner or a male attention in a way that he wants me for more than just my body. And if I know that that's the thing that's gonna make me feel the most satisfied, the most safe, the most loved, then I'm not gonna settle and I'm not gonna put myself in positions where I'm going to attract anything other than that. And of course, obviously, if there's a photo that I'm posting and I attract that, I'm gonna see that and say, no thank you, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna wait it out, or I'm going to seek out other males that are wanting me deeper than just my looks. And so it's important for you to stand in your truth, to understand what it is that you truly want long term. And so when you do, let's say you do post, if you find a male is coming to you for just the looks, you're gonna say, no, because I know what I want, this is what I want. But sometimes we're posting, we don't even realize that we're doing these things out of real need for love and safety. We don't really understand this, so it's very important that you just realize, like, are you standing in what you say that you want, or do you even know what you want? Which is, I really think deep down, most of us want that love and attention and validation, but for the long term, with somebody who really loves us and sees us for more than just us physically. Okay, so at this point, what do? We know that we want love, attention, and validation. I've told you also that it's not bad that you want that, nor do you need to necessarily get rid of the need and want for that completely, because it literally wouldn't happen even if you tried. I think as a woman, what you can do is you can consciously choose to use your beauty and your looks to your benefit. This is what I mean by this, is to understand that men are physical, visual beings. They like beauty, they are attracted by that. And you can use that to your benefit, to bring some attention in when you want it, but to realize that the good quality men that you most likely deep down you want in the future, they're gonna want something more than just the physical attraction. And I talked about this in my video that I did about what men that you want that might not want you are wanting, and a lot of them care about that feminine energy essence. So this is, again, this has actually nothing to do with looks. It has to do with who you are as a human being, who you are as a woman, all of those characteristics and traits that are very, very important, especially if we're talking about marriage and long-term relationships. So I think it's really important to understand that men like beauty. You can play on that all you want, but also to realize the men that you want, they care about your characteristics and who you are as a human being. And so work on that, but not to work on that just to get a guy to stay with you, to work on that because you probably need to work on that. Because if you are only caring about your looks and you're only caring about male validation and attention, most likely your attention is out here trying to bring guys in instead of internally. There's probably childhood traumas and wounds and shadows, a lot of things within you that you may not be aware of, or you're aware of but you're avoiding, which is leading to self-sabotaging behaviors, a lot of things internally that need your attention and need your attention. And this is how I was when I was younger. Like I was caring about all of the wrong things, like way too much about the wrong things. And once I started to bring my energy inwards and start to work on myself, heal my inner child, and do shadow work and go to therapy and just really start to self-improve and all of these things for myself, not to attract a guy, changed the game for me. It allowed me to step into my feminine energy. It allowed me to step more into my self-worth. And when you step into your self-worth, you step into that level of playing field where you're gonna start to manifest and attract better men in your life. So I think it's okay that you want attention from men. I think that girls who say and put you down for admitting that, if you ever did, I think again they're coming from a place of suppression within their own selves, and I know that because I was like that at one point after flipping the switch completely. But coming full circle, it's not bad that you want male validation and attention, because in your core, in your essence, what you really want is love and affection from people around you. And you're gonna start to realize when you work on your self-worth and yourself is that it's not really, girls, you already know my camera heated up, so I kind of forget what I was saying, but let me wrap it up and say, you're going to start to realize that your want for love and validation and attention won't always want to be from men. You'll start to realize that you can get it in so many different ways. Of course, you're gonna learn how to give it to yourself when you're learning how to heal yourself, but also just with friends and family and the people around you. But also I find, and what's happened to me is in this journey of healing myself and stepping into my feminine energy, I've really learned and found my purpose in life. Now, I'm not saying that you're just gonna find your purpose and you're gonna know what you wanna do for the rest of your life, but you might really find purpose in your life as you go through your healing journey. And with doing that, there is some validation from that. Like, I'm not gonna lie and say that doing YouTube and TikTok and knowing that I'm helping women out there, that I don't get some form of feeling of validation, like I'm doing the right thing, that people like me, that people feel like they're valuing what I am doing and what I'm bringing to the table into life. And again, I think that we have to stop shaming ourselves for wanting this external validation, but it's also to remember and to remind yourself and to see, like, if I'm getting all of my validation and self-worth and love from other people, especially from men, then I need to do some work, because you can't get all of it externally. You can't also get it all internally. You have to have that balance. And I do find, especially with men, it can be very hard because a lot of us don't even understand them and how they communicate and how they operate. And you might be on an emotional roller coaster all the time. Or even if, again, you are posting on Instagram, you are gonna have that dopamine kick of people validating you for a few freaking moments as you post the photo. And then what? After people don't see it on their feed, you're forgotten about. And if that's the only way you're getting your validation, you're literally gonna be on a roller coaster. And we don't want that. We don't need that. So I think that's gonna be it for the video. Please comment down below and let me know if you want me to expand on anything that I talked about in this video. Of course, don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe because there's new videos every single week. Don't forget, I have a podcast, The Glow Up Secrets, link in the description, as well as my TikTok and my journal guides. All of the things will be linked down below. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.